The NFL has been impacted by COVID-19. It was only a matter of time since they're not in a bubble. The Tennessee Titans sitting at 3-0 after 3 close victories. Now we're going to try to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers on a short work week. Or will they even get the game in? I'm Donnie Seymour for Pub Sports Radio, and this is your hot topic of the day. COVID-19 gets into the NFL locker room, specifically with the Tennessee Titans, as 8 total people from the organization have now tested positive. And they're also playing a waiting game for the Minnesota Vikings to see over the next 48 hours if anybody tests positive from their organization, since they played on Sunday between the Tennessee Titans and the Minnesota Vikings. 31-30 victory by the Titans. The Titans are 3-0 on the football season after a 2-point win versus the Broncos, a 3-point win versus the Jaguars, and a 1-point win on the road versus the Minnesota Vikings. It'll be an interesting next 48 hours between both of these football teams to see if anybody else tests positive, and also the contact tracing that they're going to go between each team to see from the infected people, were they around anybody else. It should be an interesting next 48 hours because on the horizon this weekend, a big game versus the Steelers. If you're going to miss time during the practice week, let's just say they're off, Tuesday, which is a normal day of rest, which would be today. Wednesday, some of the veterans have now been taking more rest since they didn't have any preseason and just looking to make it through the football season. But then on Friday, you can't have an NFL season where a team just hits the field on Friday or maybe Saturday and gears up to play a football team that's been rested and ready, like the Pittsburgh Steelers should be heading into Sunday's game. This will be interesting to see how the NFL handles this situation, because if both teams don't match up with their bye week, you can't really just push it off and say, well, they'll play at the end of the season like it's a Major League Baseball game and they're trying to play a doubleheader. That doesn't work in the NFL. I hope the NFL takes the proactive approach here, does the contact tracing. If nobody else tests positive, they can separate those guys and still play a football game on Sunday. If not, your guess is as good as mine what's going to take place here, and also looking at the Minnesota Vikings if anybody in their organization tests positive. This is an interesting, tricky thing specifically for us gamblers, because sometimes we want to fire on early in the week and get the better line, but who knows who's going to be out for Sunday's game. A little bit of food for thought later in the season, and certainly with this week, keep an eye on those early line movements, but think again. You don't know how that's going to change throughout the week, specifically with injuries and now a COVID-19 impact. For Pub Sports Radio, I'm Donnie Seymour, and this was your hot topic of the day.